Hi everyone! So today I went to the library and I talked to Miss Stoddard here at Burton, and I was telling her about my favorite author. His name is Mac Barnett, and she helped me find some books that she thought you guys would like written by him. So this is the first one that we're going to read today. If you were to take the legs off of this guy and also take away his eyes, what shape is he? He's a square, yeah! So this book is titled Square, written by Mac Barnett and John Klassen. All right, here's our first page. It says, "This is Square." This is Square's secret cave. Do you guys see it? Here he is. And what shape is his cave door in? It's also a square, just like him. Every day, Square goes down into his cave and takes a block from the pile below the ground. So here are the blocks. What shape are those blocks in? They're also squares, just like him. He pushes the block up and out of the cave. So he's going to push it out. He brings the block to the pile at the top of the hill. There he is. This is his work. One day, while Square was doing his work, pushing his block, who came by? What shape is that? That's a circle. It says, "Circle floated by." Here she comes to talk to Square. "Square," said Circle, "you are a genius. I didn't know you were a sculptor." "Ah, yes," said Square. "What is a sculptor?" "A sculptor shapes blocks into art," said Circle. "Ah, yes," said Square. "I see what you mean." But he still did not really know what she meant. So here they are talking. "This is a wonderful sculpture," said Circle. "It looks just like you." And it does, right? Here's Square, and this is Square. They look alike. Square looked at his block. "Yes, I suppose it is wonderful," he said. "Now," said Circle, "you must do one of me." "Oh," said Square, "I'll come back for it tomorrow. Goodbye, you genius." "Circle," said Square, "I think I should tell you something." What do you think he wants to tell her? Is Square really a sculptor? Did he make this? He didn't make that. He found it. So he wants to tell her, I can't make a circle. I didn't even make this square. But she was already gone. "Oh, dear, dear, dear," said Square. He studied his block. "I have to make this block look like circle," he said. "Circle is perfect, so I must make this perfect." Let's see what he does to try to make this into a circle. Square got to work shaping his block. See that? He's chipping away. "Oh, crumbs," said Square. "This is not perfect." "Oh, dirt," said Square. "This is much worse." But he went back to work. Is that looking like a circle at all? Not really. Let's see what he does. He worked and worked and worked and worked. What happened? He had one really big square. Now he has lots of smaller pieces of rock. So there he is. Look at his eyes. He looks kind of frustrated. And he says, "Ah!" cried Square. He had carved the whole block away. There was nothing left. He was surrounded by rubble. "Whatever is the opposite of perfect, that is what this is. I must stay up all night and figure this out." But isn't it hard to stay up all night? Can you guys go a whole night without sleeping, a whole day and night? It's kind of tricky. So Square fell asleep. He got too tired, and he fell asleep in the middle of this pile of rocks. And what's happening in the sky? What's the weather like? It's raining, right? And so when it rains, we get these puddles all over. But what's happening right here? We have a really big puddle. So that rain made a big puddle in those rocks. The next morning, Square woke up wet. He despaired. "What have I done?" he says. "I push blocks. I do not shape them. I am not a genius." There he is. Whoops. "Hello, genius," said Circle. "I am early." "Oh dear," whispered Square. He's still not feeling too good about it. "Are you finished?" asked Circle. "Oh, yes," said Square. "I'm finished." But did he make a circle? Not really. This is what he made right here. Circle peered down. Oh my, she said. Do you think she likes it? Let's see. It was beautiful. It was beguiling. It is perfect, said Circle. It is? Asked Square. Yes, said Circle. Why do you think she likes it? Look at that. She can see her reflection in that puddle of water. So he kind of made a circle with the rubble, didn't he? Oops. You are a genius, said Circle. So she loved it. But was he really a genius? Did he do that on purpose? No, he was trying to shape a circle. And it was an accident, but she loved it anyway. The end. All right, the second book is kind of silly. I lost it. Oh, here it is. It's called Mustache. So here's his funny mustache. It's again written by Mac Barnett and illustrated by Kevin Cornell. So this is the first page. Take a look at it. Again, it's called Mustache, but does he have a mustache? Nope, no mustache on his face. So I wonder why that is. So he's a king. It says, King Duncan was a terrible king, but he was terribly handsome. So he likes to just look at himself in the mirror. He thinks he's so handsome. Don't I look wonderful? Said King Duncan. Yes, sire, said his royal advisor. He spent every royal day admiring his royal reflection and not doing much else, which is why his kingdom was such a royal mess. So take a look at his kingdom. This tree fell on this house. There are sheep on the roof. The tower's falling over. This is their water well. It's where they get their water from. But do you think you can get clean, safe water from there? No, I don't think so. But does he care? Is he helping them? Nope, that's what makes him a bad king. King Duncan didn't repair the roads. He built billboards instead. He didn't fix the playground. He put up a statue instead. Do you think it's safe to walk on this road? Take a look at that horse. He's stuck. Instead of fixing it, he just put up more pictures of himself. And instead of fixing that crazy playground, he just built a statue of himself. So one day his subjects stormed the castle. We need roads. We need swings. Do something for us, King Duncan, they shouted. So they're angry with him and they went to go tell him. There's that little girl asking for help. For you, said the king. Yes, said the little girl. The king was quiet. Come back in a week, he said. So a week later, he called all of his subjects. Here they are, and he's talking to them. Gentle subjects, he said 7 days later. You have asked me to repair the roads and the playgrounds. I have done something much better. Behold, he says, my gift to you. The crowd was silent. What was his gift? It wasn't the roads fixed or a nice playground. He just built another banner of himself. That's it, said the little girl. Yes, said the king. Oh, but the king grinned. He loved his banner. The crowd left and the sun set. So they all just went home. They didn't really like what he did for them. And the next morning, the king's gift looked like this. What did they do to it? That's right, they drew a mustache on it. King Duncan was furious. Look at how mad he is. I must catch this vandal, he screamed, and put him in jail, said the king. So King Duncan had his royal advisor nail posters to every wall in the kingdom. So he just made more posters of himself. Look at all of these posters. And they all look like this. And it says, whoever drew a mustache on the terrible banner must go to jail. So King Duncan soaked in his royal hot tub and waited for someone to turn in the culprit. It should be any minute now, said the king. But overnight, something happened. What happened to all of the posters he just put up? They have mustaches on them. Take a look. Every single poster has a silly mustache. King Duncan was outraged. So he went out for a walk, and he went to the park, but this did not help. Why do you think it just made him angrier? He saw more things of him with mustaches on them. So he slouched in his royal throne. There he is slouching. "Look at my wonderful face," he said. "Who could be doing this to me?" "I don't know, sire," said his royal advisor. Take a look at his advisor. He has a long white beard. Take a look at this guy. Long white beard, it's him. But his royal advisor did know. Every night, the old man had been sneaking out of the castle and painting mustaches on pictures of the king. Uh-oh, it was him. But he wasn't the only one doing this. So had she, and so had he. So had she, and so had they. Everyone painting mustaches. In fact, just about the only person who hadn't painted a mustache on a picture was this guy. He didn't draw a mustache. Oh, wait a minute. He did. So there were mustaches everywhere. Take a look at all of those banners and posters. Mustaches and that statue. There were mustaches everywhere. The king was having a hard time dealing with it all. There he is, upset about it. One night he lay awake in his royal waterbed. I know what I'll do, he thought. I'll trick the culprit into revealing himself. So the next day, he called all of his subjects to the royal castle. My gentle subjects, he said, you've been playing a joke on me, and I have found this joke hilarious. But did he really think it was a funny joke? He didn't like the mustaches. He's lying to them. So if the person who's been drawing mustaches on my picture would just raise his or her hand, we can all laugh and there will be no punishment. No one will get in trouble. So they all raised their hand because they were all drawing mustaches. Do you see their hands being raised? And look at the king's reflection. Is he happy that they all drew mustaches? No, he's not. You're all going to jail, screamed the king. All of us? Asked the little girl. All of you, screamed the king. Oh, but the jail wasn't big enough to hold them. Not even close. This is their jail. It's really small, and they have to fit the entire kingdom into it. So the king made the jail bigger and bigger until it could hold everybody. So they made a really huge jail. But they had to build it, and they built it really nice. So it wasn't really like a jail. So now the king's by himself in his castle, and everyone is living in a jail. And every day the king sat on his royal throne, the only free man in all the land. We sure showed them, King Duncan said to his reflection, but his reflection was silent. His reflection, though handsome, was not very good company. Day after day, the king listened to the sound of laughter nearby, of donkey carts rolling down freshly paved roads, and swings creaking in parks. Things seemed to be doing pretty well in the jail. So because they were all by themselves now without the king, they built themselves nice roads, and they got themselves nice swings and a good playground. They liked that they could do that for themselves. But he's by himself, so he slumped. He sighed. He felt a little alone until one morning the king sat up straight. So he got up and he got off his royal throne. He stood in front of his royal mirror and he reached for his royal paintbrush. What color is that paint? Black paint. What do you think he's gonna do? And he painted a mustache on his own royal face. It looked pretty good. The end.